do no murder. You can kill, but you shouldn't murder. You can kill in self-defense, but you shouldn't murder by killing out of hate. You can kill even after turning the other cheek, but you shouldn't turn the other cheek when people are out to destroy you. You should make sure you destroy them if that's their purpose, to try to destroy you. Self-defense is indeed an argument, and a viable argument, if you have to kill someone to save yourself. Someone said that Mariah should have turned the other cheek the other day. I said she did. When he said those things to her, she turned the other cheek. She did. No, I'm not just making this up. She said, Zarek, it's not worth it. And she turned. But that was it. But when he called her the name, God didn't say turn the cheek twice. He just, that's when she hit him. And I'm not being funny. We can kill in self-defense. Never try to murder another person's personality. Never try to murder another man because of jealousy. Never murder another man because you want to take his position. David murdered Uriah. He didn't kill him, he murdered him. If someone comes upon you to attack you, to take away from you those things that belong to you, that are rightfully yours, and you have a right of life and liberty in the pursuit of happiness, you have a right to kill them. But you shouldn't murder anybody. Now, this is a bit personal, and maybe it'll be personal for you. And by making it personal, maybe I can make it painful, and by making it painful, I can make it helpful. People have tried to murder my personality. They've tried to murder the essence of who I am. They wanted me to die. They wanted to see my life, my future, and my profession thrown inside of a grave and dirt thrown on top of it. They wanted to murder me. And God said, thou shalt not murder. But that's what happens. And I think that if you've ever had that spirit, now to kill, if someone attacks you, you have every right to defend yourself. But if you've ever had the spirit of seeking to murder someone, I don't get into voodoo. That's not what I do. I don't voodoo. I don't do that. Now, Sister Purple is back there today. She's down there in Haiti. That's all they do down there for the most part. They do have Jesus in Haiti. They do. But I don't seek to do anybody any harm. Their spirits, their personalities. I don't seek to murder anybody. And when you get down on your knees, if you've ever had the spirit, and in order for us to move forward, there are people that write to me on Facebook and other places where they get an opportunity to chat or comment who are seeking to try to destroy me. If you've ever had the spirit of wanting to destroy another man, you ought to murder him because of your dislike or because of his success or because of some other reason, then you ought to ask God to move the spirit of being a murderer out of you. And it's a common spirit. It's a spirit that most people don't think that they possess it. But I can tell you, I've been the brunt of people who, by their discussions, by their deceptions, and by their sometimes powers, sought to murder me. And maybe somebody sought to murder you. But I'll say this to every last one of you here. If God's going to pour new wine, and he is pouring new wine into the spirit, I'll say this to every last one of you. In your hour of need, every last one of you. Every last one of you. In your hour of need, in your hour of your low point, in your hour when you needed help from the sanctuary, In your hour of need, I stood by you. I didn't try to hurt you. I never raised a word against you. When you had needs, and you've had them, and you have them right now. And even now I'm standing here defending you. I've never tried to murder or harm you in any way. I've never tried to take a piece of bread off of your plate. You need to know that. And I can say that before the Lord today. I've never gossiped against you. I've never tried to turn anybody's heart and spirit against you. Y'all stand up. I've never done it because I'm the Lord's servant. And why should I do that? But if you've ever had the spirit of mind that you've sought to murder a person's spirit and person, then you ought to ask the Lord on a daily basis, move that from me. I was surprised to learn, Elder Ramos, that a Jewish lawyer and another idiot had worked for nearly a year to have me arrested. They tried everything that they could. They used politicians, they used the courts to have me arrested, to have me dragged out of this church in handcuffs. Why? They wanted to murder me. They wanted to murder this house. Now, I'm the Lord's servant. It didn't work. Didn't come anywhere near me. In fact, it helped me. But I can say that about them, and you know who they are. But in order for God to use you in ways, maybe you've had a spirit of trying to murder someone else. And it's a spirit that we need to pray about. We think that we can keep on praying and coming and going without looking closely at some of these things. And had someone told me that this person would try to have me dragged out of this church and building in handcuffs, I would not have believed it. That's how deceived I was. That's why deception for me, I started out with today, is so important. Lord, let me not be deceived. Because someone has said to me, you know, a time of tables will turn and this man will seek to actually have you dragged out of your church in Harlem and thrown in jail and embarrassed before the whole world. I wouldn't have believed it. Why? Over what? And why would they do such? But I'm a believer now. I'm a believer now. Deception, murder. And these are the kinds of things. We can go down a list of others, but these are some 5 things at the very least you ought to consider. We've had issues in our house of people using their offering as a weapon. Why? Why? And by the way, if as a member and I'm your pastor, and you ought to always be prayerful about everything, but be mindful that never bring an accusation against somebody, not because you want to do good, you want to do bad. This is important. If God's going to pour a new spirit inside of all of us, then what we need to be able to do is to move some of the old spirits. I'm telling you, God can raise you to the point. I would not want to be where I was 35 years ago. I looked this morning, I don't see Dr. Johnson. She looked great last Sabbath. Dr. Johnson ought to be a lesson to every last one of us. How quickly something can fall upon us. It ought to be a lesson. It is to me. That we don't have one moment to take for granted. We don't have one moment of missing an opportunity to sit inside of this house. If there's ever a moment when we thought we didn't want to come, or we think we wouldn't want to come for other reasons, whatever reason that we thought, we ought to repent and ask God to forgive us, because that moment can be taken away from us.